Russia is hit with new sanctions. President Biden warns of severe consequences if chemical warfare breaks out in Ukraine.
Direct confrontation between NATO and Russia is World War III.
And as millions flee Ukraine, U.S. veterans stand ready to fight.
When we have an opportunity to stand up for the underdog or stand up for what's right, we're going to do that.
Downtown Denver goes green.
We have live music, pipe bands, dancers, green beer, Janet. I mean, it's just everything.
Hundreds of thousands of people are bringing back a tradition not seen in years.
We have been working since 2019. We're calling it the return of the Irish.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Jessica Porter.
And I'm Jason Grenauer. This weekend, thousands of people can raise a glass of green beer and toast to a return to semi-regular life. It was 2 years ago today that the NBA announced it was halting games after a player tested positive for COVID-19. The NHL followed suit a day later.
Tom Hanks became the first major celebrity to announce he had tested positive. The World Health Organization officially declared the outbreak as a pandemic.
Here in Colorado, there were a few dozen cases in our state. Governor Polis was just days away from restricting gatherings to just 10 people or less. And in the midst of all of that, Denver's St. Patrick's Day Parade became one of the first major gatherings to be canceled in Colorado.
This pandemic isn't over just yet, but what a difference 2 years can make. The St. Patrick's Day Parade is coming back to downtown Denver this weekend, kicking off our coverage downtown. Denver 7's Patrick Perez.
In Patrick, the city anticipates 200,000 people will pack downtown tomorrow morning.
And Jason, the restaurants and the bars here on Blake Street, where that parade will stop at some point tomorrow, they are all ready for those big crowds. You can see they've started to put up some of these banners welcoming in the St. Patty's Day Parade crowds. And by the way, this is one of their biggest days, right next to the opening day for the Rockies. So having this day back after 2 years without it, it's a big deal.
Preps are underway in downtown Denver ahead of the return of the St. Patrick's Day Parade Saturday.
We're back on our feet and we're ready to celebrate with everybody. It's going to be awesome.
It'll be the first time since 2019 bars and restaurants like Blake Street Tavern benefit from the parade's large crowds. COVID-19 forced organizers to cancel the 2020 parade just days before.
We had the fencing, we had the band, we had everything ready. And we got the big news, and of course, you know, the world changed. We got the Guinness on tap.
General Manager Shelley Majors says the day of the parade is one of their biggest of the year, next to opening day for the Rockies.
From 2017, 2018, and 2019, they were all over $100,000 days.
During the pandemic, the future of the tavern was bleak, Shelley says, but finally, business and life is taking a turn for the better.
There was a long time where we didn't know if we'd be able to keep the doors open, and now we can all just celebrate together, and I love feeding good people good food.
Down the street at Cherry Cricket Ballpark,
What are you guys doing for St. Patrick's Day Parade Day?
Samantha Taxon and her team are more than ready for the big day.
We have live music, pipe bands, dancers, green beer, Janet. I mean, it's just everything.
They too suffered a big loss when the parade was canceled 2 years ago.
I think we're still going through liquor from the loss of that day.
With COVID on a decline, that day will hopefully be just a blip in their history.
We're all optimistic for the future, and this is kind of that change, that day of change.
And a day for Denver's large Irish community to get back out and celebrate.
For us to know that we are going to be one of the largest event, if not the largest event since COVID, to really bring people back out, reliven the city, and really ensure that people know that we're back is just amazing.
And it really is just amazing. The parade, by the way, begins tomorrow morning at 9:30. We have all the information about the routes, everything else you need to know on the denverchannel.com right now for you. Jessica.
So much has changed in 2 years. Thank you, Patrick. And Blake Street was renamed Tooley Street yesterday in preparation for tomorrow's parade. The name is a tribute to Dale Tooley, who created Colorado's first domestic violence unit during his time as Denver's district attorney in the 1970s and 80s. Tooley was also apparently quite proud of his Irish roots.
Baseball's return should help downtown businesses rebound as well. The MLB and the Players Union finally reached an agreement yesterday, ending the 99-day lockout. Today, players reported to Arizona for the first day of spring training. Now, the Rockies' opening day will officially be a day game at Coors Field on April 8th. First pitch will be at 2:10 against the Dodgers. Tickets will go on sale on MLB's website next Friday, March 18th. And if basketball or hockey are more your thing, tomorrow will be the first night without a mask requirement at Ball Arena. You will also not have to provide proof of a negative COVID test or that you've been vaccinated. Now, artists can still require masks or vaccination proof for concerts at Ball Arena.
You can also still help out Metro businesses by enjoying Denver Restaurant Week. Nearly 200 restaurants are offering $25, $35, or $45 meal options through March 20th. We recommend making a reservation.
Cleaning up from the Marshall Fire has proven to be as much a bureaucratic mess as a physical one. Today, Boulder County responded to a lawsuit that claims commissioners failed to adequately involve the public in selecting a contractor for debris removal. Now, the county says it did its due diligence and that survivors will be financially and emotionally damaged by any further delays. A court hearing is set for next Friday. If the court sides with the county, debris removal could begin immediately after.
Today was another contentious meeting for the Douglas County School Board. Today's topic, weighing in on possibly appealing a judge's order prohibiting one-on-one meetings. The order stems from the board's actions that led to the eventual firing of former Superintendent Corey Wise. At the end of today's meeting, no decision was reached. This quick summary of today's meeting won't do the entire story justice. Our web team listened in on the entire meeting and wrote up all of the details, and you can read it right now on thedenverchannel.com.
The United Nations now says more than 2.5 million people have fled Ukraine to neighboring countries since Russian forces invaded. Today, President Biden warning that Russia will pay a severe price if Vladimir Putin elects to attack Ukraine with chemical or biological weapons. But he stopped short of saying if that price would include a U.S. military response against Russia.
We'll defend every single inch of NATO territory with the full might of the united and galvanized NATO. We will not fight a war against Russia in Ukraine.
Now, the U.S., along with the other G7 nations and EU partners, are also ending Russia's favored trade status. Now, this means the U.S. and our allies can impose higher tariffs on some Russian imports and ban certain Russian products like alcohol and seafood.
More and more American veterans are considering joining the fight in Ukraine after Ukrainian President Zelensky announced he's creating an international legion of volunteers.
Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is talking with veterans here in Colorado, not at all surprised by the outpouring of support.
While on active duty,
September 11th happens.
one of Michael Gropper's missions was cleanup and protection of New York City after 9/11.
Everybody was locked and loaded, combat gear, everything.
Today, he's found renewed purpose as head chef and owner of Full Battle Rattle Deli.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have a reason to be.
Not all veterans are so lucky after discharge.
I just got out of the military. I have no sense of purpose, of mission, of belonging, and that causes just depression.
So it's no surprise to Gropper and others that all across America, small groups of U.S. veterans are gearing up, quite literally, to join forces in Ukraine.
I can't speak for every veteran, but we have I wouldn't say conditioning, but a greater sense of good that's a part of us.
There's veterans out there that think this is just wrong, and these people need help, and we're going to go do it.
Jeffrey Pitchford is the commander of Denver's American Legion Post 1.
The first and the oldest in Colorado.
He says it's almost in a soldier's DNA to jump at a chance like this.
If there's something off balance and they have the ability to join forces and help, I fully believe it's the American way, it's the American soldier.
And when we have an opportunity to stand up for the underdog or stand up for what's right, we're going to do that.
A calling to serve and a hunger to join a righteous fight.
It's like a rally cry, and it's not only for veterans here, but I've been listening to veterans from the UK and from Ireland and other democratic countries that are saying there's an injustice being done here. We're defending our ideals and beliefs.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Now, the State Department is warning Americans of the risks of traveling to Ukraine to join in the fight. The White House said today that U.S. citizens detained by Russian authorities in Ukraine could be subject to potential attempts at criminal prosecution and may be at heightened risk for mistreatment. Without a home, but not without a friend.
He was homeless and had no one to be with him.
A Denver center cares for people as they prepare to pass on.
We want them to understand that they're not alone.
And after overcoming addiction herself, a Colorado woman is now helping those in recovery find their purpose.
There has to be a safe place for people to let down those walls and truly be able to recover.